This is David Prosper, host of the Leadership Revolution. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast from Public House Media.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Your Life Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mariah White, and I am a passionate pediatric nurse practitioner and fired up health and happiness coach, here to deliver a message to you. This podcast is meant to provide a hope and a dream that fuels your soul to dream big and to dream bold and to inspire and empower you to live out your wildest freaking dreams and to grab a hold onto the unwavering truth that you were made for more. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. I am just so stinking excited for this episode of the Your Life Matters podcast. And I am just humbled and excited because we are edging on yet another anniversary of this podcast. And I am so stinking excited because we have some amazing things planned for the anniversary. And I'm so pumped, so stinking pumped for it. And I can't wait for you to tune in because it is just, I can't even believe how these years have just passed. I can't even believe that, man, 3 years. Where did time go? And I'm so proud and so honored to stand with you guys. So proud and honored to stand with you guys. And that is why today's topic is so stinking, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. And I want you to understand that you too can blaze your own trail. It is never too late to be who you secretly have dreamed of becoming and who you have always thought that you were and who you have always wanted to be. Because, Phil Wool once said, reinvention is the purest form of hope. And I resonate with that quote all the time because I've been reinvented myself more times than not. My business, my mindset, my perspective, my personal style, my habits, thoughts, values. Like I have always been like, yes, I'm going to change this, or something has sparked that. And it always aligns with who I am as a character and who my values and morals are. But I really believe that you can constantly reinvent yourself. So I think that is fitting as we move into this next year of this podcast. But like I always say, guys, this podcast is only possible when you guys leave a rating and a review, when you let me know what you think, and when you let me know how this has truly impacted you, because that's how it works in the podcast world. So I'm asking you humbly and graciously to leave a rating and a review, but I'm also telling you that it is time for you to sit back, buckle up, and get ready for this. Because I'm going to ask you some tough questions. I'm going to ask you to really look deep inside, because if you decide to blaze your own trail, who will you truly become? If you sat there and said, I am going to be the best version of me, what would your life look like? So I'm going to ask you, what would life look like if you boldly stepped into the best version of yourself? Would you be doing the job that you do currently? Would you be in the relationship that you're currently in? Would you have the friends or surround yourself with the people that you have? And would you be saying no or yes to some of the things that you say no and yes to? What would your life look like if you boldly stepped out into the best version of who you are? And then my second question is, what would it feel like if you allow yourself to evolve without apologizing? And what does that even mean? I mean stepping into the truest form of who you are without having to think about what she's going to say or he's going to say or your parents going to say. Just really, truly blazing your own trail and saying, forget everyone else and the noise that they make. My true self is the only thing that matters, because at the end of the day, the only person that matters is God and myself. And I am going to have to answer to one person at the end of my life. And I just am going to go for it. What would that look like for you? Who would you evolve to become if you didn't have to apologize or worry about a potential apology if you just became who you were destined to be? And then the very last question is, what would you be doing right now? What would you do right now if I were to burn your rule book and you did exactly truly what you wanted to do? Your life would look so different. Your life would be completely different. And if you're saying, no, Mariah, I'm doing that, that's because you've reinvented yourself and I'm applauding you. But I also want you to be open to reinventing yourself, because you can always answer these questions differently. And if I use my simplest example of being a tiny human healer, and I thought that that's all I wanted to do. When I went to school to become a nurse, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden this coaching thing fell into my lap. And I was like, man, I can empower and inspire people to live healthy and happy and be on the preventative side of medicine. Sign me up. Was it that simple? Absolutely not. But I started to believe it. And then it was like, oh, podcast. Oh, speaking on team calls. Oh, speaking for corporate. Oh, being this voice for the Black community within our network, and being this person of influence to empower and inspire people to be exactly who they were meant to be. Doesn't matter what team they're on or whatever tangible things that you can take away organizationally. Like, I just was like, I'm going to blaze my own trail. You are going to know who Dr. Mariah White is. And I've continued to have to boldly step out and say, I will just have to ask for forgiveness and not ask for permission. And I just do things that way. But it wasn't always like that. It was when I decided to realign who I was and the belief that I was made for more and that I was meant to empower people in this life. And my job is to help you do the same thing. Stop going to a job that's going to kill you. And I listened to a podcast this week, and Les Brown, an amazing motivational speaker, he talked about how 85% of the American public goes to a job that they hate. And if you look at it, researchers and studies have shown that the highest rates of heart attacks are on Monday mornings between 8 and 9 o'clock. That's insane to me. We are living a life based off of a blueprint and a rule book that we are supposed to do this and we are supposed to do that. And we are going to disappoint this person if we choose to do something that is a little bit different or unorthodox. If nothing else, and I think I say this on every podcast episode since COVID has happened, that we have learned that unorthodox is the way that we have to go about things. Our lives are not orthodox, yet we are trying to fit ourselves in a box. We are trying to fit within the rule book of everything. And we're trying to say that our blueprint that we discovered at age 12 is exactly what our life is going to be. You can't think that. To be fully alive is the greatest gift in the world. I know, I understand, I get it. Life can be demanding, overwhelming, and in this season, God only knows, freaking depressing, overwhelming, sad, emotional, all of the things. But we have to remember that we have the power to shift in any moment. We can pivot and choose in any moment. We have the choice at any moment. Free will, right? We have that choice. So chase every single curiosity, follow every single obsession, go after every ridiculous dream, because you never know where it'll lead you. You never know where you'll go. If you're lucky, they'll bring you closer to life, filled with hope and passion and excitement. And I promise you, if you work hard towards it, you will it's that saying, right? You shoot for the moon and you land on a star. Like, you shoot for the star and land on a moon. You know what I mean. Oh, I love you guys because you guys love me. But either way, you know how that saying goes. You're going to land on something remarkable. And you don't have to allow yourself to become mediocre and content with that. I think a lot of times people are like, I'm just fine with this and I'm just fine with that. And then they get exposed to just this life of just beauty. And they're like, holy cow, I had no idea that this was out there. Believe that there is more for you, because there is. You were made for more. Your story is not over, and your story matters. And I say this all the time. You are wanted. You are needed. You are worthy. You are loved. And you are more than enough. So think about those 3 questions. What life would look like if you boldly stepped out into the best version of yourself? What would you look like if you allowed yourself to evolve and reinvent yourself without apology? And what would you be doing right now in this life if you burned the rule book down to the ground? Don't allow yourself to become seduced by mediocrity. Believe that you were made for more, because there is so much more that you are capable of. And I see you. I stand with you, and I believe in you.
What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Your Life Matters podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here. I just ask that you share this episode with somebody. I ask you to just share it and give it to somebody who could potentially need to hear this message. I really am on a mission to help hundreds of thousands of people to believe that their mess is their message and that their story really does matter, and that above all, their life matters. I'm so grateful that you're here. I want you to share this episode. And then on top of that, if you could please leave a rating or a review, or both. Let me know what speaks to you. Let me know what you need to hear. Let me know what you've connected with, because that's going to be the best way that I can make sure that I'm giving you guys exactly what you need. I love you guys with all my heart. I'm so grateful for you, and I want you to know the difference and the impact you guys make in my life. I love seeing your messages. I love seeing when you guys private message me or screenshot it and share it on Instagram or Facebook, because it lets me know that this podcast is doing exactly what it was meant to do. And it's to make sure that there's an impact being made, and to help remind you and everyone else that your life matters.